fantastic Fuel Esports broadcast today. I'm Newt. I'm joined by Dragon, and personally, this is my first stream of the semester. I am so excited for this one.
And it's your game too. It's League of Legends tonight. So first year of the semester for you. It's your game. We're in for a fun night tonight.
We're in for an absolute blast. Our Fuel Esports roster has a lot of changes this semester. Not going to be the same faces you're used to seeing if you tuned in a lot last semester. You'll notice a bit of a oddity where the top laner from last semester, HDK, he's now our support. Just a little bit of role switching. And then two new players, Horus from the ACAT team has been brought up in the jungler, and Top Guru, a brand new top laner, ready to make his debut.
All right. So two new blood on the main team and a swap out into support on the side of HTK. I remember from last year watching HTK play, he was ruthless, especially if he got that Jax.
Yeah, he had a bit of a fun time, right? He really enjoyed just kind of going in, right? He never really had an off button. Remember seeing his Olaf games where it was his way or the highway, right? There was no other option of what could happen.
Just kind of the moment HTK was going to do something, it's just you couldn't stop him.
Exactly, right? And support's a role where it really dictates the flow of the game, almost as much as jungle, I would say, especially as the higher ranks you go. These engaged supports, these roaming champs, could really just take over a game in a flash. And I mean, it's a brand new season, brand new NECC. We're back in Division 1. Our league team looking primed and ready. But the team they're up against is not going to be an easy one.
The GV Vikings?
Yeah, I believe coming off of a very good season last year, the champions of the Division 1 NECC last semester, as well as quite deep run in CLOL. So not going to be the easiest team, but they also have some changes.
So we're in for a heavy match tonight, especially going up against a team like this. So maybe with these swaps, the new blood coming in for a premier, this is going to be a trial by fire.
Yeah, I think both teams actually have 3 new changes, in roles or players.
Ooh.
So both teams going to be testing the water, see how this season's going to play out for both of them. And I, for one, am extremely excited to see how Fuel does in a matchup that I would say they're probably not favored in on paper.
So we're okay. So if
A
we're gonna
little
look
bit
at
of
we're gonna look at this from a tactics perspective. So say depending on the type of the champions that come into play, on paper theories plans might work out, but in practice they might fall short or maybe blow us out of the water. I'm just saying if they want to do something really good tactically. Fiddlesticks top lane. That's all I'm saying.
I'm liking the Fiddlesticks. I think bold choices, right? These off-meta champions are really where Fuel's going to thrive this semester with just the champion pools that we kind of have in every role. Not really what you're expecting out of a standard, jungle, standard support, standard top laner even, right? So it's going to be a very different looking Fuel from last semester. It's going to be a lot more chaotic in every role. But
yeah, I think all seriousness, I think an unorthodox play should be something to consider.
I think it's perfect, especially in these games where teams aren't really sure, right? You're not sure, the enemy teams aren't sure. But I mean, it'll all come down to what the draft ends up being. It could be quite a standard draft depending, but I think we're first gonna have to take a little bit of a short break and play that Fuel video.
Yeah, let's go.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 4th week of the Fuel Esports Weekly Update. Our competitive season is finally here, so let's talk about what that means for our teams and what you can expect coming up soon. On Monday, we held another Monday night game night for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Melee. We always enjoy having you all out to this. We hope you continue to come and enjoy the community. As always, we'll be hosting another one in 2 weeks. Last week, Fuel Esports Call of Duty took a 3-2 victory over the Fisher Falcons in NECC Varsity Premier. This moves their record to 3-0 after this marathon game. As for what's coming up this week, with the start of our competitive season means our broadcasts are back. We'll be dropping weekly stream schedules every single Monday at Fanshaw Fuel on all socials. Make sure you follow us so you don't miss any of the streams. You can view them at twitch.tv/FanshawFuel. Missed one of our streams and want to catch up with us? You can catch us on Rogers TV on channel 13, as this week in Fuel Esports. With the start of the competitive season, we'll be announcing our rosters soon. Again, make sure you follow us on social media at Fanshaw Fuel so you don't miss the roster announcements. And thank you to everyone who came and tried out and did their best to try and play for one of our teams. We really appreciate you wanting to represent Fuel. We're also hosting our first player media days of the year this week. That means you'll be seeing updated photos of our new and returning players as they come back to represent Fuel Esports this season. As for events coming up, we're excited to announce our first EAFC game night of the year, which will be taking place on the brand new EAFC 26 on Monday, September 29th in Forwell Hall. We'll have the new game already downloaded and ready for you to play, so make sure you come out and join us for the new game. AAFC 26 will also be available on release day right here in the fuel station, so come out on September 26th to try the new game the day it drops. We'll also be hosting a retro game night on Tuesday, September 30th in Forwell Hall. Make sure you come out at 6 p.m. and join us to come play any of your favorite retro games. That's all for this week. As always, make sure you follow us on social media at Fanshawe Fuel so you don't miss any weekly updates. The next one will be coming out on Tuesday, September 30th.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And here we are with the champion draft, our favorite time.
I think, honestly, by far my favorite time. I am such a fan of draft. It's really where I get to, flex my knowledge, understand what different nuances happen in the game, and it really is the starting ground of what decides a game is a win or a loss.
Oh yeah, this is your territory. You know exactly when a champion gets picked on kind of what's going to be picked. If I'm going to say here, I think I know what Fuel's team's got to be. We need Blitzcrank, a Mumu, we need Caitlyn, Aatrox, and probably Katarina or Fiddlesticks.
I will say, two of those champions are possibilities. I did see a little bit of a Mumu practice, and Zan's quite well known for his Caitlyn. But yeah, we're just waiting for the draft to start a little bit. But Fuel going to be taking red side game 1. I believe, I don't actually know how picks ended up happening, if either team had a decision or just it was random. But anyways, red side, counter pick galore. And when you have a support who plays such unorthodox champs as like a top lane main, such as HDK, or a top laner like Top Guru, who just kind of does weird champions sometimes, he has a singe like that.
Really?
A little bit of a singed pocket, quite a well-known singed pocket actually. But so it really opens up the door to a lot of these weird picks. So I think it's actually what Fuel is wanting to pick.
That's my territory. I love the unorthodox in these types of scenarios, especially when someone's so meta-focused, to bring out something that completely either bypasses or counters that you wouldn't expect, really throws someone off script.
Yeah, and I think again, we'll be seeing probably some fairly standard drafts for the first couple picks, right?
Most likely, yeah.
I think player to watch, obviously HDK, going to be a fantastic player to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to be an absolute blast regardless of what happens, right? I think you're still going to have a lot of fun watching the new players, top and jungle, but I really think Boo has kind of stepped into his own, especially recently. He's been in scrims in their games during the activation week that were played. He played so incredibly well. I'm really excited to see how Boo's going to translate that skill into a full match day against an opponent where he would probably be ranked a little bit lower.
All right, well, we're currently going to the bans, and Caitlyn is already banned.
Yeah, that's the Zan ban. I remember last semester, Zan pretty much perma-banned was Caitlyn because it is most played, and he was the highest ranked for most of it, and Bessa banned. So yeah, looking at GV Vikings teams, their mid laner likes to play a lot of these AD and like these really assassin movement type champs, right? So you've seen the Akali, the Yone, the LeBlanc, these types of champs. Whereas then their top laner really likes to play these bruisers, right? You're gonna see Mbessa, see like Jax, like these types of champs. That Cho'Gath ban is a jungle ban. Fun fact.
Okay.
Horus is a well-known Cho'Gath player. It's what he played mid lane mostly, but he does play jungle as well. It's a bit of a flex. Not one that many people would expect. And that Fiora ban is a support ban.
Yeah, I remember Fiora being played a bit last season, like when we were casting. Fiora was a problem if they were against a Fiora, but playing as a Fiora in the rare occasion was a really good pick. So I can see why it's banned.
But that's again a support ban, which is not champ role you'd normally see. Fiora, Wukong, one of the strongest junglers on the patch, just gonna be locked up. A strong team fight jungler, a strong AD presence, good backline access, good team fighting in general, good engage, just kind of does it all. Not right now the number one prio jungler. I think we're more so looking towards Pantheon's still really strong. I think you're still looking at Xin Zhao a little bit more. You see Jarvan a bit more. Diana, that's gonna be jungle, pretty much guaranteed. Another Horus pick.
So
Horus
you think that
really,
right now our junglers is Wukong Diana?
It will. I'm 100%. I'm almost 99% positive that is happening. Horus really has a champion speciality, right? His pool is very specialty focused. So there's the Cho'Gath, there's the Diana, and you'll see a Xin Zhao here and there.
Okay.
But the Xin Zhao's mid. But I mean, I think he can play jungle as well. It's gonna be a bit of a testing grounds for him. And then the Sivir, I think probably one of the best AD carries in the patch right now. Just so safe, so good in team fights, almost never falls behind enough. Everything is checked off the list for this.
Okay, I've never seen Sivir, so I'm excited to see how she plays, especially Ohana and Rumble. Those, yeah, these are all new champs to me, so I'm excited.
So Ori Rumble, very standard draft. Wukong Ori Rumble, probably one of the most standard drafts you've seen. Rumble, one of the
Okay.
most broken champions in forever. This top laner just wins pretty much every lane. It is so good in team fights with his ultimate equalizer, just burning down an entire area, just cutting off so much access.
Oh, just complete scorched earth.
Yeah, and we are already going to the insanity picks with the Kled being locked for top guru. Just no, no hesitation, no thinking. I'm gonna play weak side this game. I'm locking Kled, and you guys are gonna have to play around it.
I'm
This
sorry,
champ-
this looks like the Tasmanian devil from Timu. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, that is Kled. He rides a giant lizard named Scarl, right? Kled, great character, but not really something you see much in competitive types of games because it's very focused on if you don't win lane, you're really weak, and you really don't have much value in a team fight. You're more of a side lane pressure. So we'll see how that ends factoring in. The Rel ban, just standard engage supports being banned here that really highlight well with Wukong and Orianna. Just the AoE combo as well as Rumble. Rel would have been a probably instant win for GV Vikings if they were able to get it here. But their support, I believe, is actually their highest rank. I believe he's a challenger player, if I'm not mistaken. So going to be looking mostly engaged. We're going to be seeing like Nautilus. You're going to be looking at, I believe it is, for some reason I'm blanking on the name, Inflame. Inflame would be their support. And quite a good player, but more of a Nautilus, these like Leona picks are going to be expected. Both the Victor and Mel band, so targeting Boo's pool as I was expecting. I think again, one of the strongest players on Fuel right now, but the draft feels so weird from Fuel, so unorthodox. You have a dive comp with a Cipher versus the most standard team fight comp I've ever seen. Oriana wants to team fight basic control mate. Rumble wants to team fight with that ultimate and also has a good side lane and good laning. Wukong wants to team fight. Yeah, that I should have guessed that one.
Malzahar?
Yeah, that's a boo specialty right now as well. Uh, playing it a lot. Malzahar is a champ that really counters hard engage and really counters mobility because he has his ultimate just locks you down and silences you for 3 seconds
Wait,
while doing
locks
damage.
and silence while
Yeah,
damage?
it's quite strong.
That's a war crime.
But you're also stationary. So, but he also
Oh.
quite a good lane. Just how much wave clear you have. Alistar gonna be picked here for GV Vikings. Just a good, solid engaged threat. Okay lane, a little bit weak early game, but will slowly get into the game. I'm interested to see how they're gonna wrap this up as far as AD carry goes, and I'm assuming it's not gonna be either of those picks. And Lucian makes sense. Trist makes sense. Trist, yeah,
Okay.
just a full team fight comp and a little bit more pressure early game. Tristana really gonna bully that Sivir early game, really gonna win lane, and then late game can kind of just jump in alongside the engage, uh, get those jumps reset.
And remind me for this draft, so it's a best of 3, correct?
Yes, and it is fearless, I believe.
So for Fearless, if you remind me, is that the one where whoever they pick, they can't pick again?
Yes, yes. So
Okay. Oh, they're bringing
if
Poppy.
I'm not mistaken, then
Ugh.
this is fearless draft. All of these champions are now officially locked out for the next game. Now, Poppy, a fantastic pick here from HBK. 1, 2, 3 dash champions on the side of TV Vikings, and as you know, Poppy is the dash counter champion, right?
You have a
Poppy,
blood feud with Poppy.
The W of Poppy, steadfast presence, makes it so whenever you dash within that Poppy W, you get grounded and stunned. So
Oh,
very good at
jeez.
blocking dashes. It's the key role of why you're picking Poppy as well to kind of stop those engage threats from that Wukong, from that Alistar. You can use that Keeper's Verdict, just ult them all the way and just get a nice, clean, advantageous fight for your team. I'm looking at the draft and I'm struggling to see how Diana and Kled really want to play.
I'm going to wonder if this is going to come down to, as you said, like GV Vikings is a very, very basic standard setup, as you were saying. We have something that was that was thrown in, and like this is kind of the plan. I'm wondering though if this is kind of like this is going to be the play. This might throw GV a bit off their script. They're going because I don't know if GV knows that these are the champs that Fuel pick. Like this is like to them, like from their view, they don't know that this is the pick. We are kind of seeing more
Yeah.
than they can. So they're probably thinking, oh yeah, like this is gonna be our plan. The moment they see Kled and Diana, they're probably gonna be like, huh?
Yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting draft. Not one you'd see normally, right? GV Vikings has a very standard competitive draft, especially in like an elo like this, right? Where you're in high masters, GM challenger, right? These really high skill floor, high skill ceiling levels. But again, I think the unorthodoxness of Fuel's comp could people, pull GV Vikings for a loop. You'll have to see. I just, again, they have a counter engage comp with the Sivir Malzahar Poppy, and then they have two champions that's only role is entirely dive their backline. And that's all Kled and Diana can kind of do in a game.
But the thing
It,
is, if you leave your backline open enough for that opportunity, I would assume that if Clyde and Diana get the opportunity, they can be a problem that will be difficult to get rid of.
they could. The problem is the only backline member of GV Vikings that really kind of has to worry is the Oriana because Tristana just has that ability to just get out, right? Jump, you can just leave.
Yeah, she
You
just
can
piece.
you can ult them away to knock them back, right? You can
Oh,
stop their engage, which is really strong against Diana, especially. She has a very linear engage, right? You throw that Q, you use that E, and then you get that ult instantly. Instantly use that moonlight, you use that moonfall, and it does damage, right? It groups them up, but if it's instantly casted and you're ulted away, you're wasting an ultimate, you're getting nothing out of it.
okay. So in regards to that, with this lineup in general, just based off the drafts alone, does it look like the balance of power is shifting in favor of one team or another on paper?
I think draft wise, I'm gonna give the favor to GV Vikings. I just think
Okay.
their draft plays more cohesively. They
And
have
that's
two
just from
different.
like an on paper
Yeah,
standpoint.
and I think they have two different modes of how they can play. They can play a bit of an engage comp with the Wukong, the Alistar, the Rumble, or they can play a bit of a disengage comp with the Oriana Shockwave, that Rumble ult, the Alistar knocking them back. Tristana can play a little bit more passive. So I think the fact that they have two modes, whereas Fuel, their backline has one mode and their front line has one mode, and there is no mix between those two. They are two complete opposite sides of the coin between those two modes, and I just don't see how they match.
I'm so then I guess to be kind of the counter for the side of Fuel, I'm wondering if they have something cooking with this lineup. They might be able to utilize something because if on paper you're saying GV has the advantage, I'm wondering if Fuel's Fuel's picks is kind of going to be the disruptor to that. If there is a way for there to be a disruption.
Yeah, I think I'm interested to see how this works. I think if this game doesn't go as Fuel plans, I think they'll go to a bit more of a standard draft next game. This is going to be their out there draft, right? The draft where we pick champions that they're not expecting, right? We pick champs that don't really function as a typical draft would end up playing out in this type of level of gameplay, right?
Maybe they'll go for different builds. Like instead of going like for the recommended builds, maybe they have a plan on
Yeah,
just item build.
you never know, right? You could see a full lethality support here from Poppy, right, on HDK
Life
side.
steal Poppy.
It could be a lot of different things, right? There's so much opportunity. That's really the beauty of League. It's just how much flexibility you have within how you play a game, how you build, how you optimize, how you draft.
I mean, there's obviously the recommended way. Like, there's always like when depending on the champion you play, there's always the recommended. This is what you pick, but hey, you can still take as many items as you want from wherever you want. Still,
Yeah, I
it's
think
open to you.
it'll be very interesting to see, but we're going to have to take a little bit of a short break
Yeah.
while we wait for that game to load, but don't go anywhere.
It's 2 a.m. in the club and I've been thinking lately about the night that you left and told me that you hate me. But that man I seen you kissing at that place we always drinking is the reason that I'm singing. One more shot is what I'm missing. I know I will risk it all, 'cause you're my fireball. You won't have to crawl when you gon' fly away with me. The way you lift me up, just can't get enough. Pull me out the dust, then you take me higher. This that love that don't expire, no. I got that undivided love, my fireball. Don't need no drinks when I can vibe with you. Don't need no green when I can fly with you. These lights are falling down on us right now. you can't get enough. Pull me out the dust, then you take me higher. This that love that don't expire, no. I got that undivided love, divided love. 'Cause I will risk it all, oh, 'cause you're my fireball. You won't need to grow when you can fly away with me. Don't need no drinks when I can fly with you. Don't need no green when I can fly with you. These nights are falling down on us right now, and you're still shining bright.
We are right into the first game between GV Vikings and Fuel Esports 2025 fall season. And it's going to be a good one. You know, as we talked about in draft, it's interesting picks, but as we see level 1, it's just standard 5 points across the board.
And currently, everybody is just hiding in a bush and a nice even parallel seeing on the map. Pins are going out, and everyone's just waiting for one person to make that first attack. But we're also waiting on the minions. Ooh, but a first skirmish right in the middle, and Boo's taking a lot of damage from 2,000-hour grinder.
Yeah, and you see here, HDK and Boo both kind of fighting into 200 hours grinder. And actually, the winning trade here for the mid lane of Fuel because of the fact that HDK does so much more damage than Alistar level 1. And a good level 1 as well. Horus and Castle actually had a trade, and we didn't see it on the map, but Horus flashed.
They did, and then also looking at the health bars of GV Vikings, you already have 3 members below 50% HP. Already these skirmishes going in favor of Fuel Esports. Now with the minions in play, Guru, is that temporary health or is that healing health? What is that?
That's
orange?
Scarled. So once you reach that orange threshold, then you become, you remount, or you dismount, and then you become a little bit smaller.
Oh.
But a good trade here from Fuel's bot lane. You see Ignite being blown from HDK, just making sure to punish as squishy as they are. Looking for a level 1 kill, but that heal and barrier from both members of Vikings. But this is the most aggressive I've ever seen Fuel's bot lane play.
Oh my
They
God.
want blood. There's no summoners now on the side of Fuel, so I'm Horus. I'm looking here pretty soon. However, pathing up off, and again, I think a crucial thing that happened in the level 1 that we did not see was the fact that Horus ended up
Yeah, unfortunately.
so crucial, especially early.
But I think with the cooldown, like, it at least helps, because, like, right now you can see, especially in this bottom lane, this skirmish, this is in Fuel's favor all the way, unless Fuel accidentally overextends or something. But right now, the skirmishes in favor are Fuel at the bottom, Fuel at the top, and we have stalemate in the middle.
Yeah, Nightstar for sure going to be in a bit of a struggle here. No potions left. Fuel's bot lane just has all the push in the world. HDK making magic happen. But as you see him walking up to River, looks like he's just going for a ward. I think Van stays in lane. Is now a little bit of a timer here for the bot lane of Vikings. But
First blood from
A
HTK!
fantastic bait from HDK. He walked away, made them think he was going for a deeper ward, a bit of a roam. But we do see Castle looking for a bit of a gank here bot lane. And it's just, it might happen. It looks like it didn't actually work out as, going back in, but HDK just wanting to fight. He does not care. Boo also quite low in the mid lane. Chaos around the map as Castle, Boo, everybody is getting kills. Castle with a double kill. And the 200 hours grinder getting that solo kill in the mid lane. So Fuel, what looked fantastic from the start from bot lane, seems to be crumbling just slightly.
And what did I just say about the overextending?
Speaking of overextending, Proctor looks like they might be in trouble. Horus, good play here to make sure he follows up with that QE after the flash, but just barely not enough damage. If he had flash, he gets that kill. A couple other things would have got that kill. Rumble paying the flash yet again, despite the fact that has been burned earlier. Maybe not the most connected as a team right now, not the most synced, but nonetheless, still such a great position here for Vikings now. Really, Castle just bringing back the game. What good look completely doomed.
Yeah, no,
Also,
that play from Castle was absolutely insane for the side of GB Vikings. It really turned the tide of war, especially on that bottom lane side.
and Boo getting solo killed is quite rough. HK looking for a Hex Splash play here, but it's just going to be trading. There's not much that can happen here. See Boo picking up that Dark Seal. Nah, Guru going to be in a little bit of trouble here, having to burn that flash. That's just the power of the Rumble in these early lanes. So unbelievably strong when you go to overheat. And bot lane's just trading super aggressively. Both junglers seem to be pathing opposite directions, so Horus will be back to top lane in time to maybe punish that flashless Rumble, whereas I assume Castle's just going to look continuously beat down on Fuel top.
Yeah, and right now with these minor skirmishes going on the bot lane, we can also see the jungler of GB just getting those buffs for their team, but making sure to go in. Dragon has spawned, no relation to me. Horus, however, getting a really good kill as they go into assist in the bot lane. This skirmish, the minions are being shredded. Well, the moment those are down, that puts Fuel on a good offensive opportunity for the bot lane. However, will a team commit to trying to take out this dragon?
Yeah, I don't know if Drake will be focused right now, except actually it looks like Horus may be doing it. However, Zan is forced to recall. HTK extremely low as well. But because Wukong knows...
Oh, yeah, HTK and Horus is going after it.
However, Castle here on the Wukong did notice that. So instead, he's going to cross map here, get both top side camps of Horus. They're going to have a little bit of a CS lead, quite a big lead here for themselves. Might even look for a play onto Guru here. He's full HP. It's quite a hard gank. And Inflame hiding deep. Ooh, getting canceled there, gonna have to run, but HDK yet again is here. He's everywhere.
It just out of nowhere, just came in like a meteor.
Yeah, I think the HDK really running the dictating the tide of the game right now. You know, made that play bot lane initially, right? Fortunately, Castle did come, and then again forced that gank that Horus got that kill on by burning the ignite and just chunking out the enemy. So it's just such a good position. Cool. Only about a 700 gold lead, really negligible in the early rate of the game, right? I mean, the gold lead mostly just in jungle, right? You're gonna see jungle and mid lane are the big gold lead for GB Vikings, but everything else is barely. And HDK has a gold lead himself.
Yeah, and currently right now, HTK just seems he's just walking across the map, making sure to assist where he can. The skirmish in the bot lane. Oh no!
Yeah, Zan looks to be a
Zan
bit of
getting
trouble.
caught out.
Might not be able to live because of how Sivir spell shield works. In fact, Inflame makes a crucial mistake there.
Oh no!
Overextends, think they can tank a little bit longer than they can, and Zan just capitalizes. Game's pinned up 3-3, but first right Fuel. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this grub fight is going to play out in a little bit, you know, maybe about a minute from now, as the Vikings probably will have a little bit of pressure there because of top push and mid push, but a lot could change, you know. Ooh, definitely having the biggest problem as well. Zan down about, I want to say, 1 CS there or something, give or take. And Boo as well down 20 CS, so just natural losses here for the top lane and mid lane of Fuel. However, Zan's ahead because of the kills and assists his support was able to generate for him. Boo is just still strong.
Well, you have this armored core from Timu making sure to hold off the...
And speaking of Boo...
Oh, yeah, speaking of... Oh, he's getting double team right now. Luckily, Horus is coming in. Will it be enough to put them on? No, it's not. 200-hour grinder manages to take out Boo. While Castle comes in, this just turned the tide on the mid, but HTK is here. Will it be enough? It will be a disadvantaged fight. The Void Grubs has spawned. HTK is getting tagged out there against those minions. Does manage to fall them back though, but will Horus and HTK do something here to try to take out these two in the jungle? They might try to do something. Might just go out, but the spin it like a Beyblade. Oh no!
Yeah, the Wukong ult is too strong in these skirmishes. That's the power of Wukong. The Poppy Diana just not having the same level of damage or output there. HTK still chasing deep as Boo is back here, has that nether grasp, and Guru here with the ultimate, with that charge, just gonna instantly clean up Castle. And in fact, Horus may actually be able to do grubs here off of some heroics by his teammates. So again, just insane map plays here from Fuel, really playing the map better from Vikings. The mid lane for Vikings, 200-hour grinder, just so unbelievably strong. Boo looks to be in trouble yet again. And HDK find this kill. That was the ultimate, yeah.
That was brutal.
Yeah, now HDK not going to find 200 hours. They're just able to walk away, but This does mean Boo's able to stabilize lane just ever so slightly. Horus getting contested by Inflame here, as well as Proctor on the Rumble. Might have to back off a little bit. Boo can basically keep back, but just the one grub and play out seems to be the play for Fuel here. As HDK doesn't care. He's 1v2ing mid lane, and he's actually just going to look for a solo kill. In fact, I believe his Alistar, the Alistar of Vikings, just killed their own Orianna by headbutting him in there. Got him in the Ignite range. He was able to finish off that kill, so not a shutdown, unfortunately, but, you know, Flash and Ignite used for the flash of Orianna, I would say worked.
Even, like, HDK did die to tower, but, ooh, GB got the grubs?
Yeah, I believe that's what the play was, right? Horus was able to get one, but afterwards, doomed, and now can Fuel blow up Proctor before Castle gets here. And Guru does get that remount, so he's able to escape, and the play is so good for Fuel. That's the thing with Kled, right? You saw how low his health is, right? You see the little red
like,
bar.
there's nothing left.
You have a courage meter, and once you attack things, and especially enemy, like champions is the highest, you build that up, and then once you're back at 100 courage, you rebound onto Skarl and gain that health back.
Oh.
You gain a little bit of invulnerability, so that's what happened there, right?
So does Kleb's health, does Kleb have a different health
He has
mechanic?
2 health bars, yes, he has 2 health bars.
Okay.
Kled's a very unique character in that way. But what happened there was he remounted at the exact moment that Castle would have killed him and brought out instantly by using 2 E's and just dipped. So
Smart.
A great play for Fuel. 6 and 6-6. And we're looking even, and I'd say Drake in 10 seconds is where everyone's going to have their eyes on, but I think Fuel has advantage, especially if HDK finds something on this flashless Orianna mid. And it looks like that is exactly what happened with the X-Flash. And now, Temptation's charge.
Oh my god.
Right into the wall, stunned up, armed up. Just Boo needs to not die, but gets that Nether Grasp, and that's going to be enough. 2 ultimates burned, but it's worked. We used 2 ultimates. I don't know if HDK needed to invest the product, but better use too much than use too little and end up losing. But Castle is going to jump straight onto Boo, but now doesn't have that Cyclone, so might be a little bit weaker for this fight. Except second recast going to be here, but won't be able to get the knock up with it. Horus is going to feed that, but Inflame is here, but isn't tanky yet, not level 6. A 2 level gap between the 2 supports is massive, because Alistar becomes so much tankier at level 6.
So so right now, I guess the objective is for Alistar to get to that point, because right now, I assume if Alistar tried to go up against either Horus or HDK, it's a lose on his end.
Yeah,
completely.
so Alistar Ultimate, once he gets that level 6, it grants him about 40% damage reduction, but looks like a little bit of fight here on Zan. Zan could have missed that boomerang on Nightstar, and that's going to be the reason why he doesn't get that kill. Now, Horus and HDK just trying to fight off Castle. Castle really taking control of this game as far as TV Vikings. The only one really taking these plays, making sure not to get picked. Corner grinder, power grinder was doing well early, but now died twice in a row. HDK looking for something, but misses the charge, misses that slam, and is going to fall himself as Horus with a fantastic flash there does get 1 kill, but actually doesn't. Nightstar lives. And Inflame will fall eventually, but Horus is going to fall shortly after. He's pulverizing blows, just absolute damage from Castle. And the Drake, I feel like it's going to end up going over to the Vikings.
It definitely might at this point, but so far it has not been engaged yet by either team. I think what the plan is, they're trying to at least give themselves enough of an opening so they can deal with it with very minimal contest.
So I believe what we ended up missing there was the fact that Alistar hit level 6, so he gained so much survivability that the engage from Horus just didn't do anything, right? Just didn't do enough damage. But now, the crucial thing that I believe Vikings will be playing for is, you can see Wukong Ultimate almost back up and has Flash. This fight is Castle's to play. It's playground in this one. And Inflame over HDK and Boo just pulling the trigger first yet again. The support of HDK is making every play possible on the map.
I'm just saying, I think HDK on support was a really good run, because he's everywhere you need to be when you need it.
Pull out. Keeper's Verdict. Castle doesn't get knocked away, but Inflame does, which means they just don't have that chasing power, that staying power to finish off. And yeah,
He just said, "Get off my property."
I'd say the HDK support experiment has succeeded. In fact, actually burned the Cyclone solo from Castle there. So just honestly, a bit of a 1v9 performance here from HDK. Just running the map, but maybe a bit of an overstep here. He's not that tanky as he only has a lot of armor. And actually, a Blast Cone going to stop there because of how Inflame knocked him off with that pulverizing smash. So going to save life there, not get knocked towards Inflame. Now, Forrest looking for an engage. Don't love the engage on the Alistar. You gotta find one of these crucial targets. Alistar has an ultimate back up. Wuhan gonna start up the break, but I think it's gonna end up being maybe a little bit of a leash. Just be careful though, as Blue does not have first move. So Orianna will be here so much faster. And HK really does a great way to keep Castle out of the game.
Yeah, but as long as they can probably hold it and hopefully not allow that slay attack to get on the side. But Castle takes out Poppy. Castle takes out 2. We got a double kill. We might see a triple. They take out the Drake. Oh my god, the entirety of Fuel just went down.
Yeah, Fuel playing for that team fight, but again, Wukong is just so strong in these positions, absolutely taking over. Fuel is hitting that last smite. I believe it was, that was a rough smite of Forrest. It was a desperation smite, so we gotta die. And, you know, he got a good engagement. He got a 4-man Diana ult. That wouldn't be enough usually. But he doesn't have the damage available. Again, the move, like, just a little bit late on that play. They need to help out Fuel and get him to out. So unbelievably hard. And in the 4v4, they really are struggling right now because of just how strong Castle is.
And absolutely am right now. Like, that fight, it looked like it was going to go in Fuel's favor. But unfortunately, there was an overextension and it just fell right. It just fell apart. Right now, you see Horus managed to take out some of the jungle enemies. Then the Rift Herald is up and ready to go, so there might be an engagement for that. But it's still a matter of these skirmishes. You can see it's 14-9, and the gold difference is almost 5K.
Fuel having bounties at 15 minutes is not what you want to see.
Nope.
Bounties are usually a sign that you are in a very big gold deficit. A gold lead for the jungler, a 500 gold lead for top Guru here. However, a almost 3.5 thousand gold lead for the Orianna. Blue not having the greatest of games of the Malzahar here. And a 1k gold lead for the Donna, and about even gold for the Forge. But Herald going to be falling here. The items are going to be coming in for Vikings. We have these two items soon. You already see Castle has that 2 item. Coming up on that Shadow Flame for 200 Hours Grinder. Almost saving his teammate there is HBK with that. Knocking them away, but in fact, he's going to be the one to fall as his Herald is going to crash down as much damage as his turret. This will be 2 turrets taken here for the side of the Vikings, and this game is blown wide open.
And like the gate's been blown wide open in favor of the Vikings. They can completely blitzkrieg and take map control. What was that?
It was a teleport. It was a, Doctor teleporting across the map to make sure he doesn't get any damage on this turret. They don't want to give anything to Fuel. They're going to be giving them all their worth. Fuel now 8-7, and now Forrest though gonna find a kill here, so a little bit of a bounce back. And Malzahar can always be coming off on the side lane if they're overextended. But
definitely,
and team fights are just gonna be questionable because their op just struggles in these team fights in general.
And yeah, and now I'm seeing it because you're right. Like on paper, like this basic compensation that Vikings does have, it seems to be working. You have a 6 kill difference, and that gold lead still just not looking pretty.
No, for a 6 kill gold lead, you would not expect a 6 kill lead. I mean, that's rough, right? But again,
that's rough, buddy.
It's still mid, right? The mid are both the 2 items. Now, items are somewhat even for some roles. You see this Hull Breaker here for Guru. He's not going to be fighting for a while, right? Zand needs to get to IE as soon as possible. He will be a little bit stronger on these teams than the Donna because he's going for utility with the Blade, rather. Forrest looking for a trade here, but it looks like the bot lane of Fuel, or HBK rather, looks like a bit of trouble. Be dived actually, and everyone seems to be low HP bot lane here as Boo and HBK seem to be able to fight off that dive as Horus had a thing. A shockwave through the wave. He used the 200 Hours Grinder. They had no walk away. They are so unbelievably low. And Boo did not have the Nether Grasp in that fight. Castle's going to be here taking the blue buff. Inflame mostly shadowing, but Boo will want to force something here. But Boo
just got
shredded. A little overextended, I think.
And now we see it's a how this fight's going. It's currently 3v2, but the health in the position is going in favor of the Vikings. HBK is super low, being chased down by Castle. Gets cut down. Horus, though, is out for blood and vengeance, trying to cut down Castle. But is it going to be enough? Getting airborne, stun walked. A lot of his health is just gone.
And actually, Horus does get the shutdown. The Diana value in this fight is incredible. It looks like 200 Hours Grinder will be able to get that with that shock whip or with that command attack. But see the fight. If it would have gone so unbelievably well if he ended up hitting that verdict, knocking the Wukong away, who would flashed early. But he unfortunately missed it, which means the Wukong was just able to pump damage. And you saw the amount of Sundered Sky killing value. This Wukong healed, I want to say, 1,000 health in that one.
No, that low, because you saw how low it was, and then just in a split second, it was like, hey, you didn't hit me at all.
That's the Sundered Sky value. Looked like a bit of a foreman here on 200 Hours Grinder, but that charger's a little out of range. Actually, 200 Hours Grinder trying to turn this back. A flash aggressively.
Ouch.
A little bit overzealous, I cannot lie. And now, Zan's actually in quite a good spot all of a sudden as he gets that shutdown. He gets about 200.
Thornbound Otacon. Is that a new one?
Yeah, so both Otacons, there's no longer 2 Otacons, just one. There's one. Instead of spawning, instead of giving bonus stats when you kill the objectives or spawning giving a lot of flowers, what it does is you collect all the flowers on the map, where flowers turn into spirit petals. But as we're talking, we'll bring that back after this fight as Guru extremely trouble here. Horus looking for something. They do find Proctor, but again, Knight starts hitting 3, and Castle wasn't even in the fight. They were 1v1ing Blue. And with that, it looks like a clean ace, and the game actually may have just ended on time there. Already typing the GG well played. They are so confident that they can end this, and that's the sign of a team that truly knows their limits, truly knows their skill set. And yeah, that's going to be the game. The closest respawn to be 14 minutes, so it looked good early game, but after those couple fights that went wrong, dry, the game just completely blew up. And Vikings
They're not even waiting for their winions.
No need. This game is off and over, and that's really the hell of a game, right?
Well,
Actually,
we'll see. Hold on.
A fight here, maybe. HK and the rest of Fuel did spawn in time, but the damage, gold. Dan does die. Guru does die. Horus gets 1, but there's still 3 alive. It's 3v2.
Retreat!
Blue just isn't doing any damage in this type of game. Castle.
HTK, fall back. Fall back, my
6.
friend.
The jungle of Vikings is Wukong going absolutely ballistic this game. And yeah, and you can see they got a lead and they ran with it. There was no stopping Vikings this game. They were never, as soon as they got a slight gold lead, a slight fight advantage, they put their foot on the gas pedal and never let go.
Well, I gotta hand it to you. You kind of you were saying that like on paper, like kind of GV had this one, and they proved it.
Yeah, I think just the draft doesn't play go here.
Hey, the bright side is though they can't use these champs again.
Really, these really strong champions. That Wukong no longer be in the game, the Oriana.
Nope.
So we'll see how this goes, but I'm gonna want to see maybe a bit more standard draft, maybe less of these unique picks. I don't think the Clyde worked out. I think the Diana was pretty good, but I think that's because of Horus comfort, and I don't think the Malzahar worked out as much as people thought it would.
And that Alistar was brutal. And can you just say that Alistar skin looked a lot like Sully from Monsters Inc. Was that the skin?
I believe that was yeah, he's in a costume. He's in a pajama, yeah.
Yeah, because it
very
just
well
flat
may
out
be
looked like
Sully.
Sully.
You might be right. Yeah, see, he may be in a Sully costume, but I mean that's gonna be game 1, and Fuel's gonna have to bounce back if they want any hope to win their first match of the season here. But don't go anywhere. We're gonna be back with that game 2.
Nothing beats a Game 2 Fearless draft, and right now we have a Risa ban.
A Risa ban?
I mean, I hope we get a Risa ban.
That's a different game, brother. Anyways, we got as we look at the bans as we're back into game 2 draft here.
I like messing with you.
Dragon just having a bit of a blast here on
Oh,
the
yeah.
cast. We always are. Same bands looking to be taken
Fiora.
from GV Vikings. Now, a little bit of adaptation for Fuel. You see the Varus ban, which I don't believe was banned last game, wanting to target that 80 carry pool of GV Vikings. Maybe playing towards an 80 carry game. Right?
Definitely. Well,
Playing strong side bot lane here for Fuel, as bot lane did pretty well. So we'll see how that ends up going.
they did, and we're seeing a similar like ban group from GV Vikings, like Fiora, Caitlyn being banned out. I think for Fuel, they should try and go for more of a counter ban, even though everyone who was played last game cannot be played now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they lock in. And the Yorick ban, getting rid of that side lane threat from GV Vikings possible. Fuel going right back to red side. I don't think the draft, side is the problem. Talia first pick, one of the strongest mid laners in the game right now. Just pairs so well with all the priority junglers. Now, Fuel, the typical thing you'd have to do would be take the Pantheon away. But because of the jungle pool, I'm not sure if they have the ability to do that. So they might just have to give over Talia Pantheon, which is a dangerous combo, as Talia always gets that seismic shove, the max damage possible, as the volley bear going to be covered here and maybe locked in for Fuel.
Okay, so
Could be jungle, could be top. I mean, it could be support. It shouldn't. I think it's going to most likely be jungle, but you'll have to see. It does do pretty well to Talia because you're not dashing, so you don't get hit with the rock. Not sure where Fuel's going to go with the draft. I think maybe we lock a mid laner here. Maybe we lock a priority top or priority 80 carry. I think kind of as Fuel, you kind of want to save your R5 for either HBK possible, like they did last game,
Ash.
or you lock it for Boo, right? And now the Ash, a safe 80 carry, and actually the complete opposite of what I was expecting. Not going for carry bot lane performance, instead going for a bit of supportive camp, as the Ash to be able to impact the map a little bit more. Zan just didn't feel like he had enough impact elsewhere on the map. Felt like his lane went well up until a point, and then afterwards it really felt like he started.
Well, now my question is, like, once we kind of know more when the champions get picked, the combat style, like we just saw hovering between a Vi pick, so obviously that's going to be our jungler.
Yeah,
It's mainly Vi, but I'm wondering, like, for the combat style right now, Volley Bear, are they like close quarter? Can they do range? Ash is obviously a ranged fighter.
Volley Bear's very close quarter. He gets up there and hits.
So he's very like, see the whites in your eyes.
Yeah,
I beat you till you stop moving.
His abilities, he heals a lot. He does a lot of damage. He does a lot of shielding, a lot of health. Really good at tower diving. He has his ultimate stable turrets. But
ooh, really?
Yeah. So the Vi is a alternative option. Now that's a Rek'Sai jungle or top. Sorry. We'll get there in a second. As the Vi is the other option when you play with the Talia, right? It's not as strong early game because you don't have that pressure, which point and click TP of Pantheon, but you do have a little bit more team play value because of the ultimate, and you do have still really good side lane pressure because of the fact that you ult. But Pantheon Talia, just the fact you have double global ultimates as well, you can both just kind of go wherever you want at the same time. It's so strong. So I'm interested to see why they went for the Vi. And then the Rek'Sai top, just a really standard. It's a full tank top nowadays.
Scion.
Well, anyways.
Oh, you seem not happy with that pick.
I think it is a very interesting pick that can function in some drafts. I'm not sure if it's ever. And then here, I mean, I don't know. I think Rek'Sai, just really standard, always kind of does okay in lane at best, right? Never really falls off. And then the Scion, I'm assuming it's mid. It could technically be top lane. Actually, I think it is a flex, but it's a Boo comfort pick. You saw it a lot last semester. It sort of fell off after a little bit as teams started to kind of started to realize. But the Rel ban, again, just wanting to ban that really standard engage champ. Yumi cover ban, but a Rise ban instead. So they're under the impression that this is a Scion
A
top.
Nautilus ban?
Yeah, just a standard engage support again, right? Just not wanting to give them those tools just to go in. But right now, I'd say GV Vikings kind of lack a little bit of damage. The Rise and the Victor being banned here. Again, Fuel, they could maybe pull a little bit of a trick here as they think this, or GV Vikings, of course, think that Scion's going top lane. Could be mid. The Mel actually seems to be the preferred ban. Just a little bit more annoying of a character. A little bit more carry potential than, say, the Victor. But interested to see where they decide to go with this. I think probably in their best interest to keep the flex alive until R5 and maybe just line to support here, but going HDK, I highly doubt that. I think we're probably going to be seeing more of a top here, or maybe another hybrid flex, or just a straight mid laner if instead Sion's deciding to go top lane, but could go
Right.
anywhere.
It definitely could, because once we see what the next pick for fuel is, seems they're going for a gangplank.
Sion is mid, as that is going to be the Gangplank top lane. I believe it is Top Guru's #1 most played character.
Ooh.
Character he really enjoys playing, but again,
So what are
gonna
the
be
combat capabilities right now of all these champs? Like I said, like close quarters, range. Like what are the combat capabilities we got?
so Volibear likes to be up close. Sion likes to be up close and is a tank. Ashe likes to play from range and has a lot of utility with her ultimate being a cross map stun. That's like
Right.
it doesn't always hit, but it's really good engage tool. And Gangplank has an ultimate that kind of sends cannon fire from across map on anywhere. And then he does a lot of damage in lane and he scales really well. Now the Zyricon, the most standard of bot lanes you've ever seen. They were made as a partner duo. They are the best bot lanes for each other. It is a classic pick here. Just really good into engage. Is the Zaya. However, it does get a little bit outranged by the Ashe, but really good into the Volibear. So interesting how that's going to work out. And I think Rakan is just so unbelievably good with the Vi. But again, I'd say they lack a little bit of damage, especially if this Dalia doesn't get ahead right away. So
do you
Dalia,
think the lack on GVs is what damage? Is it just damage output, or just overall what damage they can do?
they have a lot of burst damage, but after the burst, they just kind of fall. They just lose all their damage. And the Lulu
So it's an
lock-in,
output. It's going to be an output issue.
I think so. I think if they don't hit those bursts and instantly one-shot the crucial targets, it's going to be hard, especially with how many beefy frontline units they have on the field, right? Sion won't get one shot. Volley won't get one shot. Lulu will make it so her teammates don't get one shot, as the Lulu is the last pick here for HDK. A very different champion than what we saw last game, the Poppy. However, sticking with the Yordle theme.
Yeah, it seems to be really sticking with that mystical. I'm very curious to see how, for at least the side of GV, because you were talking about like the combat capabilities here, but like Talia, Vi, and Rek'Sai. Is Rek'Sai close quarters? Like, what's kind of their whole thing? Because they just look like a really, really awful monster.
Yeah, Rek'Sai is close quarters, like brawl, and then has a tunnel system across the map, so you can kind of traverse across the map a little bit faster using tunnels. Instantly go in them. It's quite a slippery champion and very very high sustain, just because of how its lane ends up playing out. Used to be a lot better. It got a little bit nerfed, but now it's still pretty good. Say it's it's a solid top laner, not the best, but it's definitely a specialty thing where certain top laners really like to pick it, especially into matchups such as the volley, which I believe expected it to be.
Okay.
So
And then like the level capabilities, like is any of these champions like at least like better in the early level, or like are we gonna expect more in like late level? Like what is just from start of the game to mid to end, where is kind of the advantages gonna be?
So GV Vikings should have the advantage early game, and then a little bit mid game. And as we get to a little bit more mid, like late mid, late game, you'll really start to see Fuel's comp shine with the GP getting those big damage barrels, with the Ashe just doing so much, having so much utility, with the Lulu shields being larger and larger, the Sion being so tanky, right? And the Volibear is going to be a little bit falling off. Volibear is their early game character. He's the one that's going
Okay.
to bridge the gap between early and late game for them. So what Volibear is going to do is he's going to gank, he's going to dive, he's going to force the enemy jungler to react. He's going to get objectives. Right? He's going to do standard jungle things. And then a little bit later game, he kind of becomes a stun bot.
Oh,
He
okay.
kind of becomes just a flash stun bot, just because how the champion functions. It's very linear. It's really hard to function in team fights unless you're extremely ahead.
So late game he's just gonna be cannon fodder.
A little. We'll see. It depends on how ahead he is, right? If he's fully even at late game, then he will be a little bit weaker. But it depends, right? It really does depend on how the game plays out. But I'd say on paper, I think Fuel's draft really wants to be late game, whereas you see GV Vikings, Talia scales really well, Zaya scales pretty well. Rek'Sai doesn't scale like Rek'Sai kind of just exists. He's gonna be a tank.
He's just there.
Rek'Sai is going to pull. Rek'Sai is going to do the Sion role, but slightly worse than Sion, with less CC, less tankiness, less resistances, less health, everything. A
So
little bit better
GV,
sustain.
so if GV wants to win this, they want to go for a blitzkrieg victory. While if Fuel wants to win this, they need to wear them down and get to those late game opportunities.
Yeah, I'd say you're
Okay.
definitely looking for Fuel to get a little bit late game here.
All right, I guess we'll have to find out in a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And here we are back. It is game 2. The Vikings are up by 1, and already we're seeing a more similar thing, but actually in the bottom lane, we're already getting into a small skirmish, and we might see one here between Guru and Proctor, but they're just going away, and similar to how we started last time, very light, nice and calm. Everyone's just taking their time, doing a nice stroll, prepping their wards.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it's going to be the standard, like, this is kind of just the standard opening every single game, right? Where you see just kind of 5 point, right? Each different laner holds a specific point in the lane. The bot lanes both fight for that early ward. And now, I mean, we're going to be back to easy standard jungle, right? Both junglers are starting on the same side. So seeing both pathing towards their bot lane is going to be all about that.
So, and in regards to this, we're seeing, again, just these light attacks before the minions show up. And right now, both teams, both junglers are waiting for their castle. So, oh no, we might see a jump here. Look at this. We have the Vikings waiting in the bushes, just waiting for Zan and HGK.
Yeah, but it's like nothing really going to be happening. Just basic laning
I thought they were about
right?
to get jumped.
Yeah, I mean, that's level 1, right? There's not going to be much done level 1. In fact, Fuel bot lane to be a little bit stronger on that early lane. So we'll see how that ends up going as basic trading happening between each lane here. And it's kind of early game. Nothing really happens early game, right?
Yeah, nothing really happens during the early game. You just get a bit of the minion attacks, just those light level ups as everyone gets their way to level 2, just making their way towards those buffs and those skills. Everything starts to go crazy once we reach level 6.
Yeah, for sure. But as you see, Horus is going to be spotted on his Raptors here. So, you know, Vikings going to know where the enemy jungler is, and Wafu will not really, as wise, not going to know exactly where the spy is, but kind of infer. And actually, a solo kill happened, a dual double kill happened bot lane. I mean, that's just going to be a clean 2v2. Every single summoner.
Who's kill?
burned.
Oh, that was our kill.
That was Fuel getting the first blood. HDK, a clean 4 summoners blown for each side. All summoners used. And it seemed to just be, again, that Lulu Ashe just has a little bit more pressure in that early game. But Vi looking to be doing a little bit of an interesting pathing here. And we are looking for a little bit of an invade here on Horus. Horus might be in trouble, but
Horus, behind you!
Horus does, in fact, win this. Has to win that smite fight, does. And Horus can fight this. Horus is down to fight here. So much stronger than the Vi early game, but has to be careful. Don't overchase too much. But Castle, honestly, way too overzealous there.
Yeah, just a little. What were you thinking? Like, what was the plan there?
Yeah, I don't truthfully know, to be honest. I think wanting to grab...
You're the lead guy. You're supposed to know.
It's hard, honestly. I think the idea there is trying to catch him on the on that buff there, right? Thinking his player will be a little bit faster.
Oh,
and
no, boo.
In trouble yet again. Mid lane, Inflame going to get that kill. However,
Wait.
The kill's not going to Talia. Now, just going to be trying to clear the wave as best as he can. That's the power of the silent passive, right? But it's not going to be fantastic for Boo, but it's not game losing. Right back. He doesn't lose all too much as far as gold, as far as XP goes. And it's a kill to the pod, thankfully, so the game's still pretty good.
Yeah, and currently at least a 1-point lead, and currently Fuel is leading in gold by just under 400-ish.
Yeah, you know, it's a very early game, and honestly, the lead is entirely in the jungle because Horus has an 8 CS lead and has that first blood, right?
That is true.
Flip side from the last game was, right? We saw a very clear lead given from the side of Castle, but again, Castle just wanted to spot on that blue buff, steal it, and then walk away, but instead just starts fighting on the romp. I'm not really sure. Maybe getting comfortable wrong. Volibear is really maybe thinking their team was just a little bit closer to help out, but that damage from Volley is lethal early.
And it was really proven, especially going up against that Vi in a one-on-one. And right now, Inflame and Nightstar, it seems...
Yeah, I think this makes complete sense from the side of Vikings, right? You have a tank top laner versus a lane bully such as GP, and your bot lane is losing 2v2, so get them both out of a disadvantaged lane. It's fine that Zan and HDK are going to be fighting into Proctor, because Proctor can kind of survive the 2v1, while Guru really can't do this.
No, you're right, but HDK seems to be going in on that attack to try and get those ranged magic bolts out. doesn't do much, and Guru has been pushed back and is waiting, gets rooted, gets attacked, and it's enough, but Inflame is getting tagged by that tower, and wow, that is a lot of damage that was done by the tower.
Guru going to instantly eat that orange, make sure he cleanses all of the CC that was doing, and I get a big heal. That's kind of the true power of the GP in these types of dives with these 2v1 situations. You just have such a powerful ability as your W. And Horus, seeing the fact that the ball lanes are now going to be flipped, he's just going to start up the break, and it's going to be free for Fuel.
Yeah, you know, Bear versus Dragon, that Bear is going to, I mean, if it was versus me, I'd probably lose to the Bear, obviously.
Very good joke, very good joke.
Oh yeah, I got to make puns with the Dragons.
Of course, right? Now Horus, going to finish this off and maybe look for like somewhere, you know, you have no flash in this Talia, but has the ultimate. However, if they're in combat, they can't use it automatically, so maybe you play mid lane, also maybe look something bot, and now, speaking of looking for a play, looks like a three-man gank is about to happen onto Guru. What can he do? He ults the wave, he tries to clear it the best he can. He's just going to blow up, and again, luckily, Inflame gets the kill.
Yeah. Ouch, though. Poor Guru.
Yeah, a rough play, but honestly, clears most of the wave, is going to be able to, Boo will now be able to catch this wave, so they're not in that much of a deficit. The biggest deficit, I think, is a plate might be going over to the side of 200 Hours Grinder in the mid lane if we can. Yeah, the plate did end up falling, so that's going to be where the lead is. Boo just going to be in this lane, now going to be versus the 1v2. That's kind of what they want, but because Boo's there, you know where the bot lane of Vikings are going? Right back bot lane. They never want to match into this Scion because that's the matchup that Fuel want for this thing.
That's true, but I was also wondering, because it just took 3 of them to take out one person at the top. Is it kind of risky to commit 3 members to one person?
So how lane swaps work, it's pretty much always playing for a deck. Okay. Getting that kill just gives you so much more value in the game, and because your top laner is always going to be safe unless, or you have to be scared because then you know it was on Drake, he could do a cross snap, like he could also do a dive bot lane on your top laner.
Oh, like this?
Counterplay. And this is actually just a dive on the solo support here.
Yeah.
Zan is going to be here in time, and Zan, he didn't lose too much health, so he lost some health, but he has heal, he has flash, he has his abilities. He won't be too bad. But I mean, Inflame with 2 kills, HK with 1 kill, supports are taking everything this game.
Yeah,
and the solo lanes are struggling on the side of Fuel, but both lanes, I mean, Fuel is struggling because of the fact that they're playing Boo is struggling because he's playing Scion.
Oh, Castle, why are you just going after the lonely bug, man? Like, come on, what did it do to you?
Scuttle Crab is the most required, is the best objective in the game. Always go for it.
I mean, I know, but the thing, like, it just exists. Ooh, what's going on here?
Speaking of exists, looks like a little bit of play here. A 4-man bot lane.
Ooh,
and
Volley Bear just got shredded. Ouch.
Didn't have the reaction in time. Now, Castle will fall, so it'll end up being a 1 for 2. Is not winning, but actually HDK and Boo looking for something, but it's not going to be anything. And that's the power of the Talia, right? You saw the Weaver's wall just jumping straight in, and HDK actually might be in trouble, having to use that Hugify on himself that able to get out barely, but almost dying to the on turn, as well as how much damage this Xayah is able to pump out early game with the feathers. And another seismic shove.
God.
Blade Caller is used. 2 kills are going to go over to 2 Vikings, and they played that fight beautifully.
And but Boo is going, he's mad. He's going for something here, going after Night Star Lyle. Oh, and it's just not enough. Oh my God, like, that was brutal, and they just went up in the lead by 3 kills.
Yeah, that was a fantastic play from the side of Vikings, honestly. Just a beautifully played dive. Just incredible, like, you get the pull on the, you get a raw seismic shove hit from 200 Hours Grinder. Meanwhile, Horus is going to get the other objective, so 2 objectives over to Fuel. That's 2 parts of feats. However, I believe they lost the dual feats, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be up to first turret to claim that feat eventually. But yeah, I mean, it's really, you hit that seismic shove, you get such good damage, and then the Xayah instantly follows it up with the Blade Caller, right? Instantly follows up, gets a massive ultimate, gets a insane pullback, does so much damage, and just blows up the them.
And it worked well into the Vikings' favor, and I think Fuel really needs to now concentrate on really getting into that damage output, because you were saying, like, the Vikings' weakness is damage output. So what Fuel needs to do is get that health up and just start bringing down the hate.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about heal. And now you do see the GP ulting here, trying to find a fight on the Proctor, but those tunnels are just so strong. makes him so slippery. Cannon Barrage does end up getting wasted as HDK is top lane looking for something on a Proctor again, just wanting to find anything, but nothing gonna happen. 200 hours grinder completely chunking out Boo here. This matchup is not easy for the Scion, especially when the Talia is 2-0-3 at 10 minutes. Not gonna be the happiest of campers is Boo. However, the rest of his game is not doing too bad, right? Top Guru has about a 10 CS lead. His jungler is quite ahead, and his AD carry is a little bit behind, but not detrimental.
How are the items build looking? Is there anything unorthodox with the item builds, or are these like standard builds per champion, you'd say?
Extremely standard. I don't think we're going to be seeing very many unorthodox builds. These characters kind of all have quite standardized builds that are just clearly better than the others. I mean, we might see a bit of an interesting variation in the build for Zan, like third item, but up until then, you're just going to be seeing really standard builds. You're going to be seeing the
Horus, you got
Horus
jumped there,
does
buddy.
Get caught off. Yeah, that's the actually not even having to invest the vial, just investing the Recon the quickness, getting so much value. Boo having to burn that flash so he doesn't fall. But 200 hours grinder can just look for this Weaver's wall and even cancel if need. And again, it feels like the game is slowly slipping out of Fuel's fingers.
It definitely is, because it seems right now with a 7-3 kill lead and now almost a 300, almost 400 gold difference on the side for the Vikings right now.
Yeah, I mean,
and the Vikings just took the Ocean Drake.
Yeah, right. You get that kill bot lane, the Drake is going to be free. Now, HDK looks to be a bit of trouble. A beautiful Q flash from the Vi and an instant ultimate. Great cease and desist there. Castle looking for Zan. Dive here from inflaming Castle. It should be enough. However, Castle will not fall unless he walks into the waiting arms of Horus. Horus instead just going to go for inflame, and because of how Xayah works, Rakan works with Xayah, gets increased distance on his dash towards Xayah. He's just able to dash that entire wall, get back to his AD carry, and be completely safe.
And Horus looks like he's trying to go in to try and fade out this 2v1 underneath the tower, but it's just not working. I don't think Horus has the health to even commit to that fight without either a heavy risk of losing or making it a Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah, Horus's early lead has completely been squandered at this point, and now Vi is up actually about 1k gold. The only saving grace for Fuel in the gold department is the fact that Top Guru is up about 1k, but is it enough when you're playing into as strong of a Talia, as fed of a Vi, as fed of a Xayah as Vikings?
Ooh, HGK is trying to chase out. Oh, hold on a second, but it's not going to be enough. Might get the kill, he does, but Inflame is there and waiting. Is this something that he can commit to, or is he just going to fight it out? No, he's going to run because Guru's already there waiting, might have reinforcements. That was a good takeout.
Yeah, HDK going for the flash E to get that mark on to Vikings, onto Proctor, get that slow, and then how Lulu E works is that it puts Pix, which is her little friend, right, onto your ally, and then your Q sends 2 bolts, one from Lulu, one from Pix. So if you E someone and then Q them, you proc Pix. And now another fight here, HK using that ultimate, is going to be able to get out of there. Wild Growth does save him, but his team is looking worse for wear, and again, it's these little wins, like HK getting a kill, right, living a play, but it's just it's not enough at this point. Fuel, they have to fully stabilize at this point because the game can fall at a moment's notice. This Vi is still so strong. This Talia is even equally as strong. However, Horus, looking to fight Castle, does have a level lead due to the fact that he's kind of farming. And a great catch there. Gonna flash the chase. This is worth it all day.
Oh, he's
every
mad.
day.
Horus is mad.
But Castle is going to live with just a sliver of HP.
No, he's not.
And now, he does die, but Boo also might fall here. He does, in fact, if a 1-for-1 with the shutdown going to the Volley Bear, you take that extra fuel every day of the week.
So in that case, at least for that fight, even though the stats are looking, that was a fight in favor, good for Fuel.
Extremely in favor of Fuel. You got the shutdown onto the Vi, and the only one that fell was your Siren, who kind of been falling anyway, right? So it's just a fantastic situation there for Fuel. But now they have to, now that the gold is only about a 1.86k gold lead, right? It's a lot more even than last game. But again, these objectives, these team fights is really where things can start to fall apart. This Vi and this Talia are so strong already. You do have your 1 items completed on 3 of your characters in Fuel, whereas only 3 as well for the side of Vikings. really, you need Zan to get to this Kraken Slayer ASAP. I believe that's what he's recalling for, actually. Right now, he will have it, but during this timer, Castle and Vikings are going to start up there with Herald. But I think Fuel, they really don't care about the Herald.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think Horus really cares. Otherwise, I think he would have jumped in to attack Castle, but I don't think they kind of have the ability because you also have Inflame going for that attack there. Horus going to assist. No, he's going to try and steal it.
Looking like a little bit of a face check here, but Horus caught between two members of the Vikings. The Herald is taken. Can Fuel find any exit picks? It doesn't look like it. So investing that time into walking into the pit and just still getting nothing out of it. Now the Herald is in the pocket of Castle. Use it to break this mid-tier one, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. I think you're most likely going to use this towards either the top lane to break that tier 1 turret, open up the map, unless you get a good spot and you get tier 1 and tier 2 mid.
Oh, well, you got Zan and HGK using that range to their advantage to get that, but 3 members of Vikings go in. HGK gets stunned out, has to use that regeneration to try and get out, but is it going to be enough? It's not, because the range is just going to shred them. However, 2-hour Grinder getting beaten to a pulp by the Boilie Bear, but gets shredded out again, and this fight that looked like it was going to be for Fuel just goes right into Vikings' favor.
I mean, a fantastic catch there from Boo, but in the end, it's going to be a 3 for 2 for the side of Vikings.
Yeah, that's a very
and the
Pyrrhic
turret's
victory.
Probably going to fight all as well. It's like a little bit something happened maybe during the blue side, something weird going on. But anyways, you see that dive. I mean, the Talia walled behind Zan to try to cut him off, but they just kind of died to turret themselves. They tanked like 3 turret shots doing that play, so not really sure what the entire plan behind that was. As you see, now Castle not going to be able to finish this break. Did end up getting the tier 1 turret, so map is a little bit more open for the side of GV Vikings. But the gold lead, again, we're still only in the 1.6k gold lead, right? And now Fuel even seems to be starting up the break as they knew Castle had to back off. Horus is here first. Boo with a fantastic find on that unstoppable onslaught in that last fight. Castle maybe looking for a steal though, and it is not going to be stolen. 21 HP. Just like last game, Horus is going to do it this time, but HGK might be in trouble, but so is 200 Hours Grinder.
Oh, the Ignite!
That's a much more crucial pick. 200 Hours Grinder dying, and the Vi is driving the Herald in, so we'll not get the crash value, not get the turret value of it. But the team fight might go the way of Vikings, but the 1 for 2 seems to be favoring Fuel, as on the other side of the map, Top Guru got a solo kill.
Yeah, and right now,
Zan's untouched.
Yeah, Zan's completely untouched and is solo uncontested. Oh, Horus going in, managed to get onto Castle. This is going to be a Pyrrhic victory for the Vikings right now.
Yeah, just Nightstar 3 hitting, no one to stop this damage. Coming over the Xayah, a triple kill. And what looked so good at the start, what started with an absolute bang from Fuel, a fantastic fight turn onto 2 Hours Grinder. They didn't really care that HGK died. And a top solo kill from Guru falls at the end to the hands of Nightstar, just absolutely shredding with this Xayah.
And absolutely, like that fight alone was brutal. It looked like it was going well into Fuel's favor as well.
Yeah, and I want to highlight the Vikings Recon has 100% kill participation right now on this map. 4-1 and 13, an absolute stellar performance from both the AD carry and the support of Vikings so far. But 2 Drakes for the side of Fuel, and the gold's still fairly even, so it's still anyone's game. Their scaling does look good, but they have to get these shutdowns onto Vi, onto Recon, and they have to just keep building up their lead. They have
Zan.
From Top Guru. Yeah, that move speed from Zan with that Phantom Dancer. They're going to be able to walk away from that seismic shove. Again, Top Guru is the main carry, like main gold lead right now for Fuel, so you really got to start getting him into these games. 8k gold, he is equal with everyone of him, and Zan actually are both equally as strong, and the only member on the side of Vikings that's stronger than them is clearly their Xayah. So this game is not over by any means. Both carries of Fuel are so strong.
So even as we're heading into the 20-minute mark of this game, the gold, the kills, the objectives, this can still be anyone's game. It's going to come down to who messes up a team fight.
It could 100% be anyone's game. And it looks like Fuel may be hunting something here. The Ash Arrow does come out, but it only finds the Recon. Do they have enough damage to kill Inflame? Doesn't look like it. The Blade Caller comes out. The Blade Storm, cease and desist. Castle shredding through, Night Star shredding through, and it looks like a clean ace for the side of Vikings. The fight just looked questionable from Duel. Horus is nowhere there. Overextension, trying to blow up a Rakan who just has so much survivability in this game. Horus gonna have to fight his way out of this. Maybe he's able to get a kill on 200 hours grinder.
Nope.
But is that enough? No, the seismic shove on top of the Stormbringer is just be enough, and the ace does come out, and the game once again flown wide.
With a 12 kill difference between both teams as well right now.
Yeah, I mean, the game was close, and that one team fight made it not very much, as the Otacon looks to be falling here for the side of Vikings,
And
as well
another
as the
turret.
top turret falling on the side of Proctor. So it's going to be a large influx. You're going to see an EXP lead start to come in with how much EXP these things tend to give. 14, a 2-level lead in the mid lane, a 2-level lead in the bot lane, a 2-level lead in the support, right? And even in off, which is crazy for how far behind he is, and one kill up on mid or jungle. 100 hours running does get caught here. A good arrow by Zan, a good enchanted crystal arrow. So that's going to be a little bit of a saving grace. The Talia is getting picked off here and there, but there's still so much damage on the side of Vikings at this point as they are ahead, and that damage doesn't start to scale down until very late time. This this Xayah is 3 items. This Xayah is priority number 1. But the thing with Xayah is she loves being dived on. Her ultimate makes her unstoppable and sets a ton of feathers.
Oh, here we go, another fight.
And this fight just looks completely doomed for Fuel, as the 3 strongest members of Vikings are here, and it's just the front line of Fuel. Cannon Barrage does come out, but is it enough? Inflame going to be chunked down a little bit. Horus is going to fall. HK and Zan are on their way, but I think they're walking into their own demise. Zan fighting it the best he possibly can, using his mechanics to the utmost skill, but does get violated. A clean wombo combo, and again, you see Top Guru just on the side lane, barely able to affect the map because of how his team is fighting. And now what was bad is worse.
And it's just sinking lower and lower and lower as the battle
So,
continues.
Shockingly, it's only about a 4K gold. It's really
Yeah,
not
no,
that
that's
far off
surprising.
for how doomed these fights look. But it's 2K gold lead in the jungle. It's a 1K gold lead in the 2K gold lead in the mid lane. A 2K gold lead in the AD carry role. The entire gold lead for here's a 2K gold lead for top lane for Fuel. But can this GP just do enough in these types of games?
We have to see, because the front line has been pushed all the way to Fuel's jungle. So now it's just going to come down to a root defense, and if the Vikings end up overextending.
Yeah, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow does end up missing from Zan onto Proctor, so that's going to be one of their key engage cards.
Oh, here we go, here we
Castle
go.
engaging as well as Inflame, and it is a triple quickness, a 3-man farm into a fantastic supply engage. And again, it just looks like the team fights are completely doomed from the side of Fuel. It doesn't look like it's a 3K gold lead. It looks like it's a 15.
Yeah, though, that gold went up really, really fast.
It does, and now up to 7K. Ash having to use Flash to get away. The Flash from 200 hours grounder, a little bit questionable, to be honest, but maybe just a little bit of a bait, as Horus is going to end up falling for it, using that Stormbringer to try to get away. But you just really see much value from the Volley Bear, and another clean engage. New Flash from Castle into an instant ultimate onto Zan, and I think the game might be ending here. You do see Boo and Guru and HK back up, but it's not over here. It's looking rough, and Fuel having to find some sort of miracle to get back into this game here. A miracle pick from Guru, a miracle engage, a miracle walk into the turret from the side of Vikings. I don't see much other route, as there is something here, as the members of Vikings are not all together. Vi is going to be in base, Talia is going to be connecting soon, but if Guru falls, the fight might just be doomed on the spot, as now, where is Fuel's damage until Zan gets here, but his Lulu is already dead, and the Xayah just keeps hitting the front line. The Xayah has 30 KP out of 34. The Rakan still has 100% kill participation this game. And the Xayah is just going to 1v2 here. Does Zan win the 1v1? It does, but it doesn't matter, as Castle is the last one alive, as well as the Talia. And they can end if they want, but they might not be willing to, might not be wanting to. Looks like they're waiting for 200 hours grinder to get that ultimate up. You can see the timer just barely ticking to be moving here in for the Weaver's wall, but instead actually deciding on a triple inhib, not wanting to finish this one off quite yet.
Because it was a very pyrrhic victory. They lost 3 of their members.
The game may have just been able to end it there by the 2 of them, but you know, Vikings seem to not think so. They're just going to go for the Baron instead. And now there's a little bit of an opportunity for Fuel for maybe a Baron steal, maybe a Baron play, a Baron throw. Now, Zaya did die. Your Ashe got 1k gold. Your Ashe is 3 items. There is a saving grace here.
So if you were Fuel right now, like, what would your, like, ideal, like, this is what we have to do right now be?
You have to kill Zaya. You have to kill Zaya and GP and just pray they can carry. There is almost no other way to genuinely play this game. You have to get the Zaya. You can't be letting the Zaya walk up onto your carries. But your front line just melts like paper in front of me. 4.5 item Zaya at this point in the game with almost 10 CS per minute. And this Recall, again, just finding masterful engages time after time after time. Saying why they are a challenger player after all, right? This is a clear player who is so skilled at their role. You know, we weren't sure a bit early game in the Alistar game, but here they are really flexing.
And unfortunately now the Vikings have taken the Baron. And this puts the Vikings in a really high chance to just shut out this game right now.
Yeah, one team fight and the game will end, and it looks like Castle's looking for exactly that with a bit of a Vi engage. Does not have the flash, so no Q flash ult shenanigans that they've been doing every time, but still is so rough. You just don't have the damage to kill many members of you, let alone any. Castle does find Guru, but Zan is able to free hit a little bit here. Crystal Arrow does come out onto Inflame, and it looks like the fight might be playable. Zan still seems to be
Oh my god, actually, wait, Fuel's winning this?
Inflame winning. It does end up being a 1-for-2 as 200 Hours Grinder does finally show up to the fight, and that was a 4v5, and it was still not close. That's just unfortunately how this is going to crumble today. Fuel gonna lose their first game 2-0 to the GB Vikings, but honestly, a hard-fought battle to the very end, and I think not too bad of a showing for their first game as a full team.
Yeah, no, that wasn't bad at all. GG's to the Vikings for winning, and as you said, like, the Vikings from last term, like, this was a team that to be paired up against them was going to be difficult. You said this wasn't going to be an easy fight from the start.
No, they are definitely one of the best teams in this division, but we're in Division 1. Every team is going to be absolute demons, and in order for that to, not happen, there's going to have to be something to change next week, maybe. Maybe it was a team. Maybe it was just, not synergy right yet, or maybe there's a different issue. We'll have to see.
Or just a champion comp.
It could be draft. It could be a lot of different reasons, right? Honestly, it could just be Vikings played really, really well, and they weren't expecting as well as they were playing, right? There's a lot of different variations that go into a game like this, and I think, honestly, it's the first game of the season.
That is true.
Has plenty of time to bounce back because of how robust the NECC season is.
Well, we might get an opportunity, though, to get some personal insights from one of the players, because we're going to try and get an opportunity to get an interview so we can learn directly from their perspective how this match went, what went wrong, and what to expect going into next week. So stay tuned, and we'll be back.
Welcome back, everybody. After a bit of a tough match for our Fuel League roster, we are joined by the captain, Omega Boo, for an interview. How's the vibes feeling?
They could be better. Obviously not the way we wanted to start this series, but we knew that going into this it was going to be a tough one. So all in all, it's all right.
So, how is like the comms, the mental going in from game 1 to game 2? Because game 1, the roster was fairly unorthodox.
I think the vibes we're trying to make it a point that we move on from the next play, and so we kind of try to keep our mental healthy. So we kind of just don't worry about the game 1 and we go on, move next.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. And honestly, I'm not really going to ask many questions about this game because I think there's not much to be said. So instead, you got new players, you got new roster changes. How are you feeling going into the semester with your roster?
There have been a couple of changes. Obviously, we have one of our players that played top lane last year moved to support. The jungler that we thought we were going to play isn't playing this semester, and then we have a new top laner. But I think as the season goes on, we will improve, and I think we will show up when it matters.
And yeah, I think overall, because Newt was saying as we were going, like, the team you were facing tonight was a really tough opponent, so it was kind of difficult for your first match on a fresh roster to go up against a very, very veteran team. So maybe going into like the next games, weeks, whoever your opponent's just making sure, like with the comms, the chemistry. I think like overall, just you'll be a lot more okay in the upcoming matches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys are definitely a unique case as far as Division 1 for most teams ends up being, where you made a lot of changes between the two semesters, right? This team, I think, is mostly returning. I think at least 3 members I noticed were returning. So it's a little less work to try to integrate new players in, right? Especially when such key roles as support and jungle are taken out and changed. It's going to be a bit of a learning curve, but I think, with this roster, I think you guys definitely have the skill to compete and definitely have the mentality. I think it's just all about putting that to practice.
Yeah.
I don't have any further questions personally or any comments.
I'd say I'm excited to keep seeing this roster throughout the semester. Thank you very much for joining us, of course.
Yeah, no problem.
Boo. And but before we leave, we're gonna have to take a quick look at our schedule for the rest of the streams this upcoming week. And next, Saturday we're gonna have a Rocket League stream, I believe, and then Monday we're gonna have Valorant. Tuesday we're gonna be right back with some Marvel Rivals. Wednesday will be COD as per usual, and then Thursday and Friday I think can change a little bit, so I'm not entirely sure about that, but stay tuned for all of our streams. Make sure you're following all of our socials to keep up to date. Fanshaw Fuel at all locations. Make sure you are there. And with that, I've been Newt. It's been Dragon.
Boo.
Oh, why don't you take us out, Dragon?
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And as Newt said, keep up and stay tuned on all of our remaining streams as we go throughout the week. Have a great night, everybody.